is what my requirement is. Now, what is the requirement says कि देखो भैया आपके पास एक database table है and this database table category have certain elements already loaded over here. For example, 1 comma sports, 2 comma jewelry, 3 comma it's where this kind of data is already there, which is ID and cat name. Now, my intention is to display this data here in this. That means here I wanted the list of categories to be shown as sports, jewelry, kids wear kind of thing. Well, how am I supposed to do this? Okay, so that's my requirement. To bring this, I have an application who is working as a mediator between these two people. Now, let's plan the reverse engineering. This JSP page, okay, understand slowly. The JSP page, or this could be an Angular page, need someone to supply the data here, then only it can be displayed. So, is it an independent element, or is it an independent component, or is it a dependent component?
Dependent.
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 So, this is a D, okay, dependent component. Now, on which this is depending? Whatever the API which will pass on this library, correct or not? Or so these values, agreed? You agreed or not? So whoever pass on these values, it is depending on that person, and that is what it is. Pretty fine. So who will supply that? Rule says that the rule, the thumb rule says that data to a JSP page, whoever it is, has to be supplied by middleware only. So middleware contains multiple people over here. The first person in the middleware is Mr. Controller, and the second person in the middleware is Mr. Service Layer, who will do data validation. A third person in the middleware is Mr. DAO, who will have the JDB. See, every person have their own set of what do you call this, responsibilities. Remember this point. Okay. So what are these people that I am writing over here? Okay. So understand what are these people over here. This guy, okay, this is where exactly I am getting the request through. Okay. So the request is coming here to the controller, and the controller passes the response back to this one. He gets a request and passes the response. Okay. Somebody will ask, get me the list of categories, and the controller passes it. So here is what it is. Now, get cat list, the method, and then this is what the list of categories. Okay. He is to return, but unfortunately, the controller does not have these categories with him. So he will go and do the same thing with the service layer. Service layer internally calls DAO. DAO will call the database through JDBC and gets his response over here through a result set. If you see, this is the result set. And here he asks whatever he need via statement object. Okay, and then through the statement he will get the result back, and whatever the query he wanted to pass, he will pass through statement, and after getting the result set, he will pass on these results into this fellow. Who is this guy? Well, this guy is my entity, and whatever is coming to the entity, he will pass on to the service will set the value to response, and service also handles something called as request. Okay. So these are the payload. So here also I have my request and response. Okay. So give me a second here. My father is calling. Nana, Nana, నేను కనుక్కుంటాను. నేను క్లాస్‌లో ఉన్నాను. 12:30కి అయిపోతది సెషన్. నేను ఒకసారి వాళ్ళకి ఫోన్ చేసి కనుక్కొని నీకు కాల్ చేస్తా 12:30కి అట్లా. ఓకే నాన్న. And whatever the value they are getting, right, so they simply return back to the client. So this is how the total communication happens. Now let us decide who is first and who is next. Okay, before I say, you only help me. So the JS page requires data ready file from where he is getting, either from the controller or through the service directly. Sometimes he will be getting the data. Okay, fair enough. So is he an independent person or a dependent person? Dependent. So can we develop him first? The answer is ultimately no. So this guy seeking data from other person controller. So controller, do he have the data to be supplied over here? The answer is again no, because controller is getting the data from the service layer. So the controller will go and then fetch it from the service. That means before controller is ready, service should be there. Am I clear? So look at the dependency. So JSP is depending on controller. Controller is depending on service layer. Okay, fine. So that means controller is also not an independent person. JSP ultimately not an independent. Service layer on the other hand can do data validation which is coming, or can do data validation which is being sent back to the controller, but who is supplying the data to him is entity. So without entity, can we deal with service layer? The answer is no. So service layer ultimately requires both request and response as well as the entity. Well, this person is depending on both request response and entity. That means, is he an independent person? No, he is depending on entity and he is also depending on request response. Now my question, are these three independent people? The answer is yes, these are independent people. They can be developed without hesitation. However, the structure of the request and the structure of the response to be decided, and then you can develop them. So you can develop either of these three in parallel before above them. Now the DAO, on the other hand, if entity has to be fetched from data, entity will get it through DAO, but DAO will pass the data only via entity. So DAO is also depending on entity one or other way. Well, I could say, if you are thinking your database table is your first element that you have created with the data, then this guy must be the second element. Now I'm coming in reverse engineering. So the data is returned back to the entity first via DAO. So to supply the data or to take the data and to communicate to the database, this guy should be the person who should be ready next. So three. Now these all the three layers are ready. Table is there, entity is there, DAO is there with the JDBC. So this is being divided into like this. Now, because this layer is ready, the data, we call it as a DL, data layer. Am I clear? Now the DL is ready. We need to bring the business layer into picture, BL. So what business layer will do? It will take the data and then decide how the data to be presented to the view layer. Okay. So the data layer, which actually represents the actual database, is called model. Always remember, model should be the first layer to be ready in an application. This is what we call as reverse engineering. So once we make the model ready, जैसे कि अगर आप, if you wanted to order dosa here, even though the chef is ready, the raw material is to be ready with you, right? So you have to make it ready, then only you can prepare it, or else there is no meaning. You can serve the dosa kind of thing. So here, the raw material that you have, through which you are bringing the whole stuff, is called as your model. So the model is the first ever layer to be developed as a part of your development. That is the DL part, data layer. Am I clear? Am I clear? Now, this is the first person table. This is second person. This is the third person. And these are ready. Now this data is ready. The data is to be shown back to the client. So let's say if you wanted to serve the dosa to the customer, you need to have plates and other items ready, right? So cups and plates. So this is the one. So here the request and response which you need to make. The fourth element is request and response to be made. POJO files are, we call them payloads, or we call them request and responses. These to be ready. So through which the controller can serve back the client, or controller can take the request from the client. Fair enough. Now, the data that is being fetched from the data layer is supposed to be pumped into this request or response by the service layer. Then only it can be given back to this one. Something like this is a plate, assume, having two katoris over here. Now, this plate simply cannot be given to the end user. It has to be served with the actual, element over here, component, which is dosa. Well, this is what is my entity data is bringing from, and this data has to be properly put into this plate and then served back. So the service layer who do this part, that is validating the data that is coming and then deciding what data to be given to what kind of request, this guy is to be made ready next, which is the fifth layer, right? Now this fifth layer is also ready. Now the data has been pumped into request and response. This can be given back to JSP. Okay, remember this, while retrieving data, a JSP can directly speak to service layer. But while pushing the data, I repeat this, while pushing the data cannot be pushed to the service layer directly because a receiver has to be there at the server end. So for post, you require controllers. Remember this one, okay? And for get, a JSP can directly deal with the service. It can ask and get. So remember this, for getting the data from a service is easier for a JSP, but it cannot post. So for get, it can call the service layer directly. Because of this, if I am getting the list of categories over here, I do not require controller. So I can make view as my sixth element to be made, sixth element to be developed. Am I clear? But the same thing, if you are thinking there should be some receiver at the controller end who will basically take the data and all, you can still make the JSP page ready as the sixth element which will pump the data and then decide the form elements over here. Because why this is coming first, I have to decide the name of that field input type is equals to something, and I need to specify name is equals to something. This name is what I am going to read at the server side. So if controller has to read this name, the name might have been already decided by you, correct or not? So this always must be the sixth element to be developed. The last, subse last, is this guy, controller, who will read the request, who will take the response from service and then return back to JSP. All that stuff that can be done or can be redirected to some other application or can be done request dispatching, whatever it is. This is the last guide to be developed as a part of the application. बात समझ में आया? कुछ डाउट से पूछो फिर से. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग. रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब होता है कि पहले इंडिपेंडेंट ऑब्जेक्ट को डेवलप करो, फिर उसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट जो भी है उसको डेवलप करो. सिंपल. तो ये मेरा पहला, and this is my second entity. Third is DO, DOIMPL. Fourth is service layer. Okay, sorry. Fourth is request and response layers. Fifth is the service layer, and sixth is your UI. Seventh is your control. This is the order. At the 0th level, मेरे पास क्या क्या रहता बताओ?
Table, sir. First.
नहीं, ये मतलब we will create project and libraries or
Oh, yes.
jar I could call it as 0th level पे. फिर हमारे पास
Connection. Web
connection
connection.
factory or any other index page or web.xml configuration, all that stuff will be done at the 0th level.
Properties
Then
file and all.
उसके बाद requirement basis पे. Now this is the requirement. For this requirement, this is the order. इसमें कुछ डाउट से पूछो.
सर ये लास्ट में एक डाउट था, वो कि कंट्रोलर पहले आता है या जेएसपी? मुझे
हाँ,
लगा था
आपकी
लास्ट में
मर्जी।
जेएसपी आता
JSP नहीं आता। बेसिकली इफ यू आर गेटिंग, there is no need of controller, but if you are posting, there is a need of control. Even in that case also, controller must be the last. You may ask me why because जो data controller read करता है request dot get parameter, so the data is coming from JSP, so JSP first have to decide the name of that input. Yeah, okay, this is star mark point. So if you do not decide as a developer, if you don't decide what you are inputting, how you can read it? Batao, correct? So even in that case also, the input UI will be the last but not one, last but the one, and the controller should be the ekdam last, always has to be. ओके, वाइल फेचिंग द डेटा, समझो फेचिंग द डेटा, अरे कंट्रोलर है ही नहीं, तो सिंपल, दिस इज द पर्सन हु इज सेवंथ एज वेल एज सिक्स्थ आल्सो।
ओके सर।
ठीक है, फिर मैं ये सेव करता हूँ। दिस इज ऑर्डर ऑफ द कंपोनेंट क्रिएशन। ठीक है ना, बढ़िया। सो शैल वी डेवलप दिस, ये पहले नोट कर लो आपके पास, लाइक हु इज द फर्स्ट हु इज द नेक्स्ट, आप अपने अपने यहाँ पे नोट कर लो, या नहीं तो स्क्रीनशॉट ही ले लो, अपने आजू बाजू में रखो, एंड देन वी विल डेवलप आवर एप्लीकेशन। नाउ टू शो द लिस्ट ऑफ कैटेगरीज आई कम बैक टू माय एप्लीकेशन। कल वी वर वर्किंग ऑन अ प्रोडक्शन इशू, तो TCL वाला ओपन है। कल 8:30 तक हम लोग काम कर रहे थे। वी आर वर्किंग ऑन ये वाला, दिस वन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चेंजेस ऑफ TCL। उनका पूरा सर्वर का जो स्टाइल है वो हम लोग काम कर रहे थे। बस क्या है, सुबह सुबह मेरे पीछे पड़ गया सब लोग। हम्म, ठीक है। अच्छा, बढ़िया। I'll come back here and let me open my project. శ్వేత, శ్వేత నేను తీసుకుంటున్నా సెషన్. ఓకే, 26 క్రోస్ తీసుకుంటాం అంతే కదా? 26 సాటర్డే అయింది, अच्छा ఓకే ఫైన్। ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम। తీసుకో తీసుకో, నువ్వు ఎక్కువ రోజులు లీవ్లు పెడితే నేను ఎక్కువ సెషన్స్ తీసుకుంటా। లేదు అట్లా అనట్లేదు, ఐమ్ జస్ట్ కిడింగ్। సో యూ కెన్ టేక్ 28, 29 కూడా తీసుకో కావాలంటే, నో ప్రాబ్లం, నేను 4 సెషన్స్ తీసుకుంటా హ్యాపీగా। ఠీక్ है, ఓకే। ఏది AFFM? అది చూద్దాంలే, అది నాట్ వెల్ అని పెట్టేసేసి చూద్దాం, చలో। నేను 12:30 కాల్ చేస్తాను సెషన్ అయిపోయినాక। బాయ్। Okay, so see this one, index.jsp we have just created, however it does not have anything, so here I'll ये link मैं remove कर देता हूँ calculator का. So this one is welcome to Janaab. And what is that I am expecting here is a table. I will say border is equals to 1 and width is equals to 100%. Well, within this table, uh, I have got the heading on the top level. I have TR, TD, ln is equals to center, and I'll keep this within this TD. I don't need to align this because it is. The TD is already assigned. I don't need this HR because the table have border. And this TD, I would say call span is equals to 2. And then below, I would like to give one more TR slash TR. And then within the TR, I would like to give two TDs slash TD. And then TD, I will say width is equals to, let's say, some 20%. And let's say TD width is equals to, let's say, some 80%. So I'm dividing the whole width into two parts. One takes 20%, one takes 80%. So here I will mention H2. Your list of products will be displayed here, and we'll say this TD. Within this, I need to have a table, and the table I will say again is equals to 100%. It will have 100% of the this kind of structure I am creating. Left side there will be a menu, right side there will be items, on the top there will be a heading. So the way you are seeing my screen, right, the exact same kind of structure I'm trying to create. And within this table, I have TRs and a small TD. And here I'll say width is equals to, so no, not width, I'm sorry. Height is equals to, let's say, some 20 pixel. And style is equals to background color, orange, categories. Let's choose a category. Right. So this is what it is. Let me run this. What I'm looking at is this structure. See, choose a category and it should be. Now, if I have to make this width is equals to 100%, where I have made, and I'll try to say height also is equals to, let's say, 100%, which will occupy that. And then this table, what I'm creating, width equals 100%, height also is equals to 100%. Well, it looks nice here. Okay, so something like this it is coming. And yes, it's okay. So this is how it is. Now, the more rows that you add on, this will get increase. Okay, so that is what it is. It will have so many number of rows inside, and the rows will be divided. Okay, well,
Sir, it's not necessary, but please change the spelling. 14, line number 14, shopping app. Welcome to shopping app.
इट हैज बिकम शेपिंग ऐप। हाँ, तो
Yes,
ठीक
sir.
है। तो ठीक है, हम लोग किड्स वेयर वगैरह छोड़ देंगे, ओनली शेपिंग वाला प्रोडक्ट्स भेजेंगे, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है।
Okay, sir.
पूछने वाला कौन है बता मुझे, राइट? चलो ठीक है। एनीथिंग यू वांटेड टू सेल बडी एट योर इज, ओके। चलो आई एम जस्ट किडिंग। तो सो ये रहा मेरा पेज, बट इसमें डेटा नहीं है, एंड आई एम सपोज टू ब्रिंग एंड देन शो द डेटा हियर विद इन दिस। नाउ what I have is JSP with only structure but without data. Anyway, this guy is going to be the last person to be taken care with, but because fortunate or unfortunate, he is the index page, so we have created him along with the structure. Now अभी मेरे पास क्या क्या बताओ, coming to my code within the structure, apart from the zeroth level which is connection factory, do I have any layer? No. So the way I have to implement is in the order. So I'll come here and then quickly create necessary packages, new package. So the very first package I require is for my model. फिर उसके बाद what is that I require? I require a package for my DAO. All right. And I do require a package, new package for my DAO IMPL, and I do require a package for service. See, I'm not creating the actual code, but just creating the structure. And I do require Mr. IMPL for this service. किधर है भैया? New package service dot IMPL. Okay. फिर सर्विस में मैं एक इंटरफेस बना देता हूँ, लेट्स से अमेजॉन सर्विस, नहीं कैटेगरी सर्विस। I'm just creating an interface because I wanted to block this one. So here I'll create a small class, category service IMPL, and the DAO also. I'll try to create a new DAO, an interface called category DAO. And here I do have a new interface. किधर है? Amazon DAO. And in the IMPL, I have a new class called category DAO IMPL. And I do have new class file called Amazon DAO IMPL. Okay, then I have the model. So here I'll quickly create a new class file called category. Now this is all I have. And yeah, to have incoming requests to handle, I need to have new package, which is going to be controller, and to help controller to take the request as well as response. Cold air response. Okay, I may not touch them now, but I will be touching them in future when we write the controller for taking the input as well as giving the response. For now, I have all the packages created. So I will say refresh. Okay, now I have refreshed. These are the packages that I have. I have service IMPL service, and I have request, I have response, a model, and DAO, DO IMPL, and controller. So new, I'll have to have a servlet whose name is dispatcher, right? And along with the dispatcher, I need to have individual controllers who will handle request. So for saving, update, delete category, I have category controller. For now, I am creating only the first level of set. Okay. So to handle the request coming for category, I have a new Pojo class, which is category request. Okay. And to there is no response I need to give after saving the category. But if you wanted to get the category or to do anything, basically you are getting it through JSP page directly. So there is no meaning I write category response over here in the response. It's not necessary, honestly speaking. But category request is necessary. Well, these are all I have created. Now let me close everyone. Close all. Okay. Util is already there, which works with something called as connection factory. Badhiya, super. Now let's implement one layer each, one by one. Okay. तो कभी भी development करना है, you are supposed to create layers like this and then implement. Whoever it is independent first, उसको पहले implement करो. Okay, who is independent out of all of such is Mr. Category. ये मेरा पहला layer है. Now I will say this guy implements serializable and supply a serialization ID generated ID I have supplied, and then below I will write on my column names. So private integer ID, private string cat name, and public category. All right, and then you also have public category which will take a string cat name, and this construction says this dot cat name is equals to cat name. I supplied both parameterized as well as default constructors, and then I need to supply the source generate getters and setters and select cat name and ID and generate. That's all. So the entity is ready. Okay, controllers. So if you have seen it, the way I have developed is I have given a default constructor and I've given a parameterized constructor and I've given necessary setters and getters for this class category, which is supposed to be an entity. So here, why I have written is to represent a DB table. This is what we call as entity. Well, I've written entity. What's next? Entity is ready. So what's next is the person who deals with entity is to be ready, which is category DAO and his category TO IMPL. Now I told you something that like all common utilized methods are to be written in the parent level and they can be reutilized by your individual DAOs every time. However, any extra functionality to be added for that particular table or for that particular data access operation, you can add it in the category DAO or the respective DAO. Let's say for products, I wanted to add one more extra functionality. I can add it in products DAO. The Amazon DAO will contain only those operations which are common to him. So what are all the operations? They are public boolean save, which will take object entity, and public boolean update, which will take object entity to be updated, and public boolean delete, which will take object entity to be deleted, and public object get, which will take integer primary key ID, and then public list of java.title.list. Look at, you are not selecting any other, but you are taking java.title.list of the type object is a list. Okay, so Ram, instead of this, when you are making it as an object and then working with it exclusively, you are doing typecasting and all. Is there any other way we can do that? Yeah, you actually can do it in this way. If you want, you can supply T. Okay, so you can supply a T, and it can be anything. So if you wanted to develop it in this way, it can be a type. Okay, so you could have supplied this as T, and okay, so this model will help you in that way. But the better way is to work with the object style. Am I clear? The better way is to work with the object style. So object is the super class of any other class. So indirectly, even if you say this category, the category extends objects only. Am I clear? When you create a class of category which you implement serializable, this himself is an object in the background. So this guy can be supplied to an object, and from an object he can be derived also. So the better way to deal with is in this way. Well, these are the common general methods which will take save, update, delete, get, and list. Well, you wanted to write some extra methods, you can write, no problem. Okay, so these are all the five methods, and then this Amazon DOIMPL has to implement those methods. So he'll say implements Amazon DO. So by saying implements Amazon DO, this guy has to implement all of those methods. Well, I'm not interested to write this get as well as list. Not possible for me. So I leave them as unimplemented because I haven't touched at least two methods. I'll declare myself as abstract. So whoever extends this Amazon DOIMPL, okay, has to implement those methods. That is the expectation. This is what we are doing from day one, right? I'm iterating it again and again and again so that you people can. You want to look at subroutines. Go here. Okay. Okay. Fine. No problem. Well, how am I supposed to write a generic thing? Is I will provide protected string SQL, so is equals to null. So this SQL string will be used by all my subclasses as well as by me because I am protected. Well, I will write protected return type is boolean perform save update delete, which will be doing operation of doing either insert or update or delete and return true or false based on the operation. That is my intention. So here I will say, I'm repeating this code again and again because I want you to get habituated. Try catch exception E. Yesterday, someone called me, Ram, instead, shall we catch a specific exception? Yeah, that is the actual practice. If you cannot expect what is going to be coming here, then you can catch it as a generic exception. So here, I may get any error while the time of performing this operation. So I am not sure what I may get. So I am taking it as a superclass exception. But catching a specific exception is always been a good practice. For example, here the code I write, if it forces me to handle SQL exception, so it must be an SQL exception here. It's not exception. Okay. So both of the ways are okay, but this is completely acceptable way. It's not wrong way. It is completely acceptable way. Connection con is equals to driver manager dot. I'm sorry, not driver manager. Connection factory dot get connection. So I have got my connection and control space bar. It will autofill and then show, is this what you are looking at? Yes, it is. And then I will say statement object java.beans nahi, java.sql.statement. this one. Okay, don't go for any other java.sql.statement. I have taken the statement. Statement is equals to con dot create statement and then statement dot execute update of the SQL string. So who will supply the SQL string? Please make sure here this will be updated by shared DAOs for specific entity. Okay, so that's how it will work. So these are actually touched by the shell DOs, and then the explain. I mean, the execution of the method is handled by the parent. So e dot print stack trace. Something goes wrong. I am printing the error, and then I'll say return false. I'm saying that things have gone wrong. I'm returning false, but everything goes fine. I'll say return true. So here is what the perform save or update or delete will do. It creates a connection and it gets a statement and executes it and then send it. Now I'll write a finally block making sure that these connections are open. So I'll say if this connection not is equals to null, here is where I get some error saying that the connection is not visible. This is because connection is declared inside the try. So you could actually declare them outside of the try is equals to null and statement is equals to null. You declare them on the top and then initialize them here within the try catch block. Now, if they are not null, that means they have initiated, then con is equals to null. You are nullifying them. Similarly, if this statement object not is equals to null, somebody have created, you will say statement dot or sorry, statement is equals to null. What is that you have done is you have opened a connection, work with the statement. Once your work is over, you are closing the connections, and then things goes fine. You are returning true, and if any error message prints or something goes wrong, you are returning false. In all of them, you simply have to say return, and here this entity that you have, right, it is supposed to be handled by the child, and based on the entity he will write the SQL, and this guy is also calling the same whatever is to be I mean to be executed from the SQL command. So here also I'll simply say, well, that's my code of DOIML. Get it? Similarly, to serve the response, if you are asking for something and you need a response to be returned to you, just like the way I have written the save method, I'll try to write another get method also. Okay, na? So protected result set is a return type. Get result. Now this get result method, or I could call this as get result set. The name itself is get result set. He will return the result set. All that the DOO will do, a specific DOO will do, category based, he will work with this result set and then he will try to map it to the categories. And if it is a product DOO, then he will try to map this result to a product. That's all. So this guy generically returns the result based on the SQL query. Okay. So now here is what my code. So I'll try to take out all this stuff up to this level. Control C and Control V, and I'll also add one more person. Result set rs is equals to null, and this rs is what exactly I'm going to return after finally return rs. That's my code. But however, the result set is not formed over here, correct? So how do I form the result? So I'm not returning the false here because I'm not looking at returning either true or false, but I'm returning to the result set which is null at the moment. I'll have to fill it. So I'll simply say rs is equals to and statement dot execute query of this SQL. So execute update is changed than or different than execute query. Execute update is used only for insert or update or delete. So here is execute update of SQL used for insert, update, delete, create, alter, drop. Am I clear? And then how about this one, Ram? Then in that case, well, execute query of SQL used for select. That is a major difference. Insert, update, delete, create, alter, drop, and then you have your select command. Select with where class. So select commands are always given in execute query. That is what this get result set will do. So it will open a connection, and once everything is over, it will return the results. Please don't try to close the result set here. It is possible नहीं है. अगर तुमने result set को close कर दिया तो you cannot return, but that will go as an empty value. So don't try to close the result set. Pass the result set back. Let the person who are receiving close it. Okay. Well, this is all about Amazon DIY. I have different methods. One for insert, update, delete kind of stuff, and all of them is calling the below method. Below two methods like perform, save, update, or delete, and then for the outers to call get the result set. Right, I have written get result set method, which the end user will call and it returns the result set. Okay, any doubts still here? We slightly, not completely, but slightly develop the DL layer, DL data layer. Now we will develop the category DAO part, in which he will try to return list of categories. Okay. So I'll come down here to this category DAO and I'll simply say this guy extends Amazon DAO. By saying this, I am supposed to implement two methods. Let me add them. One is get and another is list. So all I have to do is very simple. All I have to do is SQL is equals to something, and I have to get the result set here, and I have to return the list of results. One object or multiple objects is what I'm supposed to return. So to here to return one object, so I will have to say try catch exception e dot instack trace, and here I will try to create a result set. I'll say result set rs is equals to null. Here I'll say finally if this rs, sorry, if the rs not is equals to null, and I'll say rs is equals to null. So I made it null. Am I clear? And here also, this is one thing I need to do here. Basically here, I need to say con dot close, and then I should say con is equals to null. Similarly here also, I'll have to say statement dot close, and then I must say statement is equals to null. Okay, so this control S. It says key unhandled exception should be uh, try catch exception E. This is how it is supposed to be. Okay, control S. So this much code you need to write if you are working with here. This is not con basically. Sorry, statement dot cross. Okay, this much code you need to write when you are dealing with JDBC. However, the entire stuff is been minimized after you. I mean, will be minimized when you deal with Hibernate. Okay. Well, I come down here. Here is my result set. Okay. Now here I need to say rs is equals to get result set. I have asked. Before I ask, I am supposed to generate this SQL, which is from my parent. The parent already have the SQL string, and this SQL I am modifying, and this get result set uses the same SQL. Okay, so here as a child, I'll say this dot SQL, whatever I have from my parent, I will say select ID comma cat name from category where ID is equals to PKID. Okay, so this select statement, whatever you have written, will be asked, and you have got your result. So here you can actually say if this rs dot next. If you have one record at least, please go ahead and then get the record. Now that record that you have got here has to be returned by you. That is what is been expected. If it has at least one record, that is what you are supposed to do. So what you are supposed to do here is on the top, along with the result set, you are supposed to declare a category object. What category? You don't need java.title.local category. Rather, what you want is com.jogo.amazon.model category is equals to null, and I'll try to get the category from this result set rs. So I try to get that one. So I'll say here instead of saying null is equals new category is what I'm supposed to say, and then I will supply the values. So category dot set the ID as result set dot get the integer which is coming at the um, column ID. Similarly, category dot set cat name as rs dot get string of cat name. So result set में जो भी आता है, because these two are the columns I'm trying to bring. One is ID, another is cat name, and I am trying to grab them both. And then whatever I am getting, I am trying to assign it to category. अगर दूसरा रो आता है वो भी add हो जाता है. Now after that I have added these rows into the category. Okay, so here I need to say return category. That is what I need to do. Control S. Hope this is clear. एक बार देखो method को. Let me know if you people have any doubt in it. Guys, any doubts in this method is what I'm asking.
No, sir.
Okay, so this is for selecting a single category. अगर मुझे और categories चाहिए तो well, control S, I will take out this and control C, and I'll put it over here with only one change. Instead of a single category, I need to get list of so many categories. So instead of this if, I'll make it as a while, and ये category मैं अंदर रखता हूँ. This is because for every record I'm getting a new category. Well, okay, ये हो गया. I have got the category, but how do, this is basically one category. How do I send the single category as a list? So on the top, I will declare list of objects, which is cat list is equal to new array list of the same. Now, uh, Control Shift O, it will autofill whatever the inputs are to be. So this PKID is also not there. So there is no meaning of where condition. It will simply bring everything, whatever is there in the table. Okay. Select ID comma cat name from category, and I've got the category, and then I will simply say this cat list that I have declared on the top as an array list dot add the element of category, and then after that I have added the category duplicate local variable. Typecast super type ఎప్పుడు ఒకసారి typecast అవుతుంది కదా ఇది.
So
సార్
here we
యాక్చువల్లీ
can
మనం న్యూ
pass out.
కేటగిరీని యాడ్ చేసి క్యాటలిస్ట్ లెక్కి రిటర్న్ చేయాలి కదా సార్.
హా, అదే కదా నేను చేస్తుంది.
ఇక్కడ కేటగిరీ మెన్షన్ చేసి సరిపోతాయి కదా సార్ అప్పుడు క్యాటలిస్ట్ వేసి కేటగిరీ.
Bhai, I'm supposed to return a list of categories, right?
సార్ అది ఇక్కడ సార్
ఎక్కడన్నా
యాడ్ కేటగిరీ ఉంది కదా సార్ అక్కడ.
this one. No, this I'm
అక్కడ
returning,
కేటగిరీ
right? This is not the problem. See, you cannot convert a list of objects to a list of object. Array, yeah, this one. I've typed S extra. My mistake. Sorry. यहाँ पे एक S type कर दिया था. Objects is a collection of objects. वो है एक just like we have arrays, collections. I have a class of objects also. My mistake. एक S आ गया था यहाँ पे. I'm sorry. Because of this S, these two errors are coming. मेरा ही गलती है. Sorry. Okay, now this is what it is. So instead of see, the main difference between these two methods is this guy returns a single category and this guy returns a list of categories. That's the only difference. So category comes inside the while loop, because this is only one thing. Here I have a if condition. Hope am I clear till here?
Yes sir.
So इसमें
Yes, sir.
if you have seen it, a DL layer is ready. यानी कि out of this, I have made the JDBC layer, model, DAO, DAOIMPL, entity, all this stuff is ready. Okay. So this layer is ready. So whoever is spending service layer, who will pull the data from this fellow and then pass it on to whoever requires. So I'll come back to my to my application and quickly go to the category service. So please understand, service methods may not be equal to the methods of DO. Am I clear? DO methods are always generic based on the CRUD operations, but service methods are based on the requirement. So अगर requirement में save नहीं करना है तो इसमें save नहीं रहेगा. अगर आपको update नहीं करना है इसमें update नहीं रहेगा. अगर आपको delete नहीं करना है delete नहीं रहेगा. अगर आपको get नहीं करना है get नहीं रहेगा. So something like that, based on requirement, it will be there. So I repeat this. Do not get into a confusion that all the methods which are there in DAO, the same look like methods will be reflecting in service layer. Now, service is to serve the controller as well as JSP. So whatever is required by the requirement, only those methods are there. Okay, what is my requirement now? इसका मुंह देख के बताओ यहाँ पे. What is the requirement? There is a table called category and there is some data in it. We need to develop a system where this list of categories from the DB to be visible to the end user. Matlab, I need to get the list of categories. Do I have to get a single category or do I have to get multiple categories? Requirement देख के बताओ. Do I have to get a single category or do I have to get multiple categories? कोई तो बताओ यार.
Multiple categories, sir.
Multiple categories. Okay, as per to the requirement, I have to save the category. For this use case, I'm asking only for this requirement. Do not overthink about the other part. Now, for this requirement, for this use case, do I have to save the category?
Yes, sir.
अरे देख के बताओ. Do I have to save the category from the UI?
No, sir.
No. Do I have to update the category?
No,
Do I
sir.
have to delete? Do I have to delete the category? No.
No,
Do I
sir.
have to get the single category? Answer is still no. So the requirement says कि get the list of categories. मतलब सर्विस में मुझे एक ही मेथड चाहिए which will bring me list of categories. List of, clear, object. This list must be of java.util.list and will this method call as get category list or get cat list. You can call this any method. This is what my requirement is. So based on my requirement, I have written my service control as done. And करना क्या है राम? देखो, this guy has to written basically आराम से सुनो. The output which you are showing on the JSP page, JSP is again a servlet in the background. That is what I said. And I also said a servlet layer or the controller layer should not deal with entities. But unfortunately, many of the projects in our Jokata, there are many people. They are coming from different companies. They are coming from different backgrounds. Well, TLs are also coming from different backgrounds. So I am unable to control them. I do not have authority to say anything. But so you can still see code where a controller directly deals with an entity, which is basically not the perfect way of dealing with. So I am supposed to have, just like we have category request, I need to have a category response also. So I need to have a response, category response. So this category response is nothing but whatever you wanted to return as a part of category related stuff. So this guy also have the same IDs as well as, repeat it, he will have IDs as well as the name, cat name. So private integer ID, private string cat name. Sometimes this guy looks like an entity. In some conditions, he will have values coming from multiple tables. I repeat, values coming from multiple tables. Let's say, for example, if you want to show the product list and the output as an output. So basically, product list does not contain the category ID. It will contain the cat name as a part of it, something like that. So this guy will slightly differ than the actual entity. So for now, he looks like an entity. Generate getters and setters have generated. What am I supposed to do here in the service layer? I will return list of category response. So instead of object, I will return category response. That's what I am thinking of. Well, what this service IAMP will have to do in that case? Well, this guy has to implement category Okay, it's not implements category service. Now that he is implementing category service, he need to have the unimplemented method. Well, look at this, how I am going to do. So first of all, I'll take a list of category response. Cat list is equals to new array list of the same. Now below I'll say list of object. Okay, so response list is equals to whatever is coming from the DAO. So who is the DAO? Basically category DAO, right? So new, I actually will get his object first. I'm really sorry. So I need to get category DAO. Cat DAO is equals to new category DAO IMPL. Now here you are writing like this, right? In when it comes to Spring framework, you will not write a statement like this. Rather, you will simply say at the rate AutoWire category DAO, and it will go and fetch the specific implementation it has got for you. So what it says, type mismatch cannot convert category DAO IMPL to category DAO. Why it is saying so? Because this guy is extending Amazon DAO, but he is not implementing the category DAO. Implements category DAO. Control S. Now, because he is implementing category DAO, he is also of the same type. Well, here the error goes. Okay, now the response list is equals to cat DAO dot. I will simply say wait a second. Where is category DAO? Okay, this guy is not extending Amazon DAO. I'm sorry, extends Amazon DAO. See, the linking must be there. You cannot skip the linking. Okay, so I have skipped the linking by mistake. I'll say cat DAO dot list. Now I have got my list. So from this list of object, each object is representing category D category. So object represents entity here. So I need to extract data from the entity and assign to this response and return. So what am I supposed to do here? I'll say if this response list not is equals to null. I'm checking whether I have got that or not. And response list dot size is greater than 0. That means if I have at least one record, I need to fill in it. So I will say category response. Response is equals to new category response, and we'll say uh, I'll come here, write a for loop for each object obj available in response list. Well, I wanted to perform this operation. What is this operation now? Deco, I will get the I will prepare the category response and fill it with the data coming from the object. So for each object, first I will get category model category is equals to typecasting object into category, and this typecasted object is what I will use to create category response objects. Okay, so I have a category response object. From the category I'll say response dot set id as category dot get id, and response dot set cat name as category dot get the cat name, and that I have filled the data. I'll simply say cat list dot add of this response, and it continues. It will bring another, and it will bring another, and it will bring another, and it will bring another. Whatever he is bringing, the category response is returning catalyst. So finally, what is that they are returning is catalyst. Now that's what I need to return, right? So I have filled the catalyst from all the list of elements that I am fetching from the database, and I have written it. Now the service layer is also ready. So DO ready, service layer ready, everybody is ready. Who is left? Mr. JSP. So this index.jsp now here the in the category he need to show the value. So here I will write my scriptlet because here I need to show the data. I'll write my scriptlet over here. So what is that? A list java.util.list of category response cat list is equals to new category service. You actually can take a category service object over here, declare it. So here I'll say category service, cat service, new category service IMPL. So I have got my value, and using this cat service, I'll call cat service dot get category list, and I have got my list. Pretty fine. But how would I know that whether the list has come properly or not? I don't know. So I will first, without writing the for loop, I'll first check if this cat list not is equals to null. If don't you check this one, it will lead to null pointer exception. And the list can be empty, even if it is not null, but it could be empty. So I'm checking if this cat list dot size is greater than 0. So both of these cases are true. Then I wanted to do something. So what is that you wanted to do something? Well, I wanted to print those categories. So within which you will have every new category is being printed in a new tier, in a new line. So I'll say TD is equals to 10 pixel. Now the heading part is of 20 pixel basically. Okay. Okay. So within which I have to supply the category name. Am I clear? So here I'll say style is equals to background color white smoke. Okay. Well, something I have just given something called as white smoke. Okay. Well, this if within this TD, I need to print scriptlet is equals to what is that I need to print here? Whatever I have within this if condition may, here I haven't implemented that main part. So for each, am I clear? For each category response in the cat list. Okay, so here response is a built-in keyword. So cat category response cat in the category list. I wanted to perform some operation. Well, I will bring out this one. So what operation you want to perform here? I wanted to print it by cat dot get cat name. So I have printed the category name. Control S. Let's come back here. Refresh. कुछ तो error आया देखो. Operation is not allowed after result set is closed. And here. So here, why this problem is coming? Can somebody tell me? because in the Amazon we must have closed. We might have closed the result set here. Get result set RS. So statement is closed, right? So statement object is always linked to the result set. So when you close a statement, basically the result set is also closed. So after statement is closed, you have written the result set. So ultimately, this is going to be not working. So let me control S. I will not close the statement here, but I would be closing the statement in the category DO after my work is over. Okay. Well, there is still an error. Okay, the web application instance have stopped. Let's run it one more time. Run on the server. I still did not get. Operation not allowed after result set is closed. This time, remove this finally. Don't close the connection also. Yes. Okay, so I have got my sports and jewelry. Get it? Right? So now I'll make this as a AH reference. And whenever you click on sports, I wanted sports related products to be displayed here. Well, I'll come down here. And then now that I have every other person readily available, I quickly have to develop the product response as well as product DOIMPL as well as product service IMPL. Correct or not? So the remaining Amazon DAO, IMPL, Amazon DAO who will help me to get are already there readily available. So now tell me the reverse engineering. I need to show the list of products over here. That's my new requirement. So somebody clicks on sports and then I need to show here the products related to the sports. Jewelry, when I click, I need jewelry related products here. So how do I do that? So that's my new requirement. So who is required to show the products is the products part. So shall I, what are all the elements to be created? Isko dekh ke batao. Who has to be created first? This is already there. Product table is already there. Then who is supposed to be created next? Entity. Product entity. Then product DAO. Product DAO IMPL to write the JDBC code. Done. Then come back. Then you write product service. After product service is ready, properly running, then you go for click this action and then load the products list. That is what you need to implement. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So to show the product, by the way, when you click on a category, whatever the category that you have selected, that ID is supposed to be passed. Well, this operation starts from here by editing this index.jsp. So here, this is a plain thing. So here I wanted to insert an a hyperlink. A h reference is equals to product. देखो, Control X and I'll put it over here. It's. So here I have AH reference. Okay. So within the AH reference where I am pointing to product list dot JSP question mark cat ID is equals to, what is the cat ID? Where is the cat ID? This is the cat name, right? Cat ID is available in the cat only. This object which is printing the cat name itself also contains the cat ID. So cat ID is equals to, aram se dekho how I am supplying, scriptlet is equals to scriptlet close, and here I will supply cat dot get the ID. That's all. So here the cat ID I am supplying, and also observe the remaining I have put double quotes, but here I have put the single quote. Don't forget this one. So if you are supplying dynamic data after the URL question mark, okay, you don't supply double quote, remember this point, it won't take properly. So I have given a single quote here and try to supply the category ID. Now whenever somebody goes to product.jsp, this is an extra parameter I am passing. This is what we call as request parameter. So request parameter passing way is this way is called as URL rewriting. The URL what you are writing, actual URL is slash product list.jsp. To that, okay, so here he'll say slash Amazon. This is my context, slash Amazon slash product list.jsp, to which I am supplying extra parameter cat ID, to which I am supplying the ID of the category. Now, if I'll just show you how this looks like. Okay, so I'll come back and refresh. Now look, this has become a link. Now below, if you are able to see the highlighted area, it says ki localhost 8080 Amazon product list.jsp question mark cat ID is equals to 1, and then move your mouse pointer. This will become cat ID is equals to 2. Are you able to observe that one? This part here it is. You're able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is moving when I'm moving it. So this is what I'm trying to supply. Now, when I am going to product list.jsp, it is reading an extra parameter called cat ID, whose value I'm supplying. Now, why do I supply that cat ID? Because based on that category, he is supposed to bring the product list, right? Okay, super. Now look at this. I have come down here. Okay, I repeat this. I have come down here and I'll close category, service, response, category DAO, Amazon DAO MPL, Amazon DAO, category, category service. But I'll take category DAO MPL. I wanted to copy certain things from him. It's a TK, score रखता हूँ ऐसा. Now what I require is an entity now. Who is an entity here? Where is an entity? Entity in the sense model here. यहाँ पे model. Right click, new Java class whose name is product. This class products implements serializable. All right. So here I'll say private integer ID, private string product name, private integer price, private integer quantity, private string description. Anything else we have in that table? देखते हैं ना यार यहाँ पे MySQL command line client root Amazon. Okay, that's all. Okay, we have a cat ID, foreign key cat ID also. Okay, so here I will say private integer cat ID. All right. So these are all the columns that I am having. So I'll just come down here and source, generate getters and setters. Before I do that, you need to understand, while the time of returning the product, do I have to return the category name also, or just return the based on the cat ID? It is up to you. If you wanted to return category name also, am I clear? Instead of doing like this, you are supposed to have, I repeat, you are supposed to have the category itself, private category, category. So what happens is you can bring the all the set of categories and then supply here. But that's a tedious task. For time being, you can say integer cat ID. Okay, the way the table is, the same way you are developing your entity also. Well, I will say source, generate getters and setters, select all, and generate. Well, this is pretty fine. Now here I'll generate the serializable ID, generated value. Okay. And then you have public product. Okay, so I have only default constructor this time. I do not have any parameterized constructor because I'm not saving these values. You can supply a parameterized constructor also while you are saving the value. That comes from the service layer. You want, you can supply that. Nobody stops you. Public, not here. My mistake. My mistake. My mistake. On the top. Or you can generate it, by the way. What am I doing here? Right click, source, generate constructor using fields, select all, and let him generate. He has generated. That's pretty easy, right? So this is so you can generate your code using your IDE. Control S. Oh yeah. So now I have my product entity. So what else is required? I need Mr. DAO, DOIMPL. Then I need my service, service IMPL. And then in the JSP, new JSP page product, I need to showcase this one. Okay. Right. Let's go. तो मैं आया इधर DAO के पास and right click new interface whose name is product DAO. Now tell me something. This interface product DAO, okay, basically extends Amazon DAO. That's first point, and he adds one more method. So this is public. So if you, I want you to observe some one important point. If you wanted to deal with any product, first of all, to identify what product you wanted to deal with, you need to know the cat ID mandatorily. Matlab cat ID is a must thing you must know. So if you wanted to return list of products also, I repeat, if you wanted to return list of products also, you need to have a cat ID. However, if you wanted to return one product details, where when you click on a product, if you wanted to show the description, you need a product ID. Okay, an ID of the product. So here I am having public. The return type is DO na. ये तो return type is object get product by ID, or I have the get method which will help me out, and I don't need to write that, but I need to write a public list of object get product list by category. I don't need all the, I repeat, I don't need all the products, but I need those products which are based on certain category. So here, shall I have to write like that, Ram? Honestly speaking, I would say you can write, but however, you can actually filter them. So I just wanted to show you the filter usage over here so that you can make use of the existing code more. Okay, so I'll go here to the DOIMPL. I'll create a new Java class, call him product DOIMPL. This guy extends Amazon DOIMPL implements product do. Oh yeah. And now I will add on the unimplemented methods. One is get, another is list. Well, it's told you, right? I wanted to copy certain things over here, which is your, this kind of stuff. So you could actually, I want you to have the practice. So I'm retyping over here for you people, so that you people can, get the habit of writing the code. So here, my SQL, this dot SQL is equals to, I will say, select ID comma, cat ID comma, product name comma, price comma, description from product, where ID is equals to PKID. That is simple. Okay, that's my query. So this query will help me in returning it. Similarly, here, based on the list, I will have to bring. So um, I'll simply have to say this dot SQL is equals to select ID comma, cat ID comma, product name comma, price comma, quantity comma, description from product. That's all I need to say. So there is no where condition. I'll pull out all of that. I'll pull out all of that. Fair enough. Now I need to write my code. So intention is here I need to return a single object. So I will simply say uh, product. Product is equals to new product. And I will fill the values from the result set, and I will simply return product. Well, let me import this model.product. Okay, that's what I need to do. How about this one? यहाँ पे भी यही करना है क्या? नहीं, यहाँ पे list of objects return करना है. So I will say the list of Java list of object. Okay, so product list is equals to new array list of the same, and return product list. Now before I return, I'll have to fill it with the values at both of these levels. In the get as well as list, you have a query, you have an element to be returned, you are returning it, but before returning, you need to fill that. So let's go here and then fill it. So I'll say try catch exception E, and we'll say E dot and stack trace. Okay. Now I will say result set rs is equals to null. I need to pull in here rs is equals to get result set. Now after that I have received the rs, I'm checking if this rs dot next have the next record. Then I have to fill the values with whatever I have received from the result set. And then after filling it, I have to return the product. That is all I am doing. Pretty simple. So the task is simple, fill the product and then set. So you have to say product dot set the ID and the peak ID. It's not peak ID. So I'll have to, yeah, that's get value, right? That's peak ID only. And product dot set cat ID. By the way, you need not bring the ID over here because ID is already there with you. The ID itself it is coming as an input, right? So you need not worry. So here you will say rs dot get integer of cat ID. Okay. So here also I'll give the small case. Similarly, you will have to say product dot set product name as rs dot get the string coming as name. Product dot set price as rs dot get the integer coming as price. Product dot set you have quantity as rs dot get the integer as quantity. What else I have? See, I have set ID, which is already there. ID is there, cat ID is there, P name I have set, price I have set, quantity I have set. I need to set the descriptions. I'll say product dot set the description as rs dot get the string value coming as description. And I am simply returning the product after filling this stuff. So the same kind of operation I need to do here also. So I'll take this product result set and this one, control C and control V. The only difference is here, because I need to return list of products. It's not a single product. So this guy will go here inside the loop, and instead of a condition, this will become a while loop. While rs dot next perform the below operations. So now the peak id is not there. Well, you need to bring it from rs dot get the int value coming as id. That's all. That's the only difference. So now you are bringing id, cat id, p name, price, quantity, and description of the product. And then after you have filled the product, please do not forget to say product list dot add of your product, and that's all. Now the while loop, sorry, here it is. The while loop repeats, and then you will be adding next product, and the next, and the next, and the next, and then finally you are returning the product. Am I clear? Okay, control S, बढ़िया है भाई. I have got my product DAO ready, entity ready. So data layer is ready. Who is required now? Who is required is Mr. Service. ठीक है. I'll go to service. Just like I have category service, I'll try to write an interface. Right click new interface. इसका नाम क्या होगा? Product service. Now इसमें क्या क्या चाहिए राम आपको? भाई मुझे एक सिंगल प्रोडक्ट चाहिए और मुझे लिस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स चाहिए. Okay, so what is list of product? Do you have a response type? I do not have a response type. Let me add on. So right click, new, a class called product response. Yeah, we'll fill it out later. For time being, what exactly I'm looking at is a public product response get product details. And similarly, public return type is list of okay, I wanted to return list of product responses by calling get product list by cat id, which will take integer cat id as an input. Now if you have to understand, this is a customizable method. So you cannot get all the products. That's not necessary. There is no meaning showing all the products back. Well, you wanted to have it. Yes, you can have it also. You can have public list of, product response, which is simply get product list, or I could say get all product list. So which returns each and every product which is there in the table, irrespective of category. It will show all the categories. Am I clear? Okay. Control S. Uh, here is it is. Okay. You can have this, or you can actually skip that also. It is up to you. The way you call, the way you do it, you can skip this. Okay. So here, Control S. Now, look at this carefully. So I have two methods. One returns the product details and one returns list of products. List of products based on the category. Well, I need to have a Mr. IMPL. Where is my IMPL here? Here it is. Right click, new, a class, product service IMPL, which implements product service. Now this is implementing product service interface. I need to implement those methods which are unimplemented. These two methods are unimplemented. Okay. So how do I fill them? Well, simply यार तेरे पास DO है, DO से ला लो. So product response always deals with, or product details always deals with product DO. So I'll say product DAO, product DAO is equals to new product DAO IMPL, and I'll deal with him. Similarly, what am I supposed to do here is I need to get a single product response entity from whatever you are getting it. So here I'll say product is equals to new product, or I can simply call product DAO. One more thing, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry here. If you wanted to, if you have seen this service method, I'm sorry. If you wanted to get the product details, कौन सा product का details चाहिए भैया आपको? You need to get integer PKID. So based on that, you need to get the product. So in the service IMPL also, I need to have integer PKID. Well, now you can say dot get PKID. So this actually will supply me a product which is supplying in the form of object. So I will typecast it to product and then get that object. After typecasting it to product, so here this product response is what you are supposed to do. So you can say product response is equals to new. Okay. And here is what you need to do is you have to fill this product values into this product response and return that fellow PRD response. So have a if condition for your save check. If this product that I have received not is equals to null, in that case I have to fill the values. I will say PRD response dot set the, okay, in the PRD response I haven't written anything so far. So what is this fellow used to have is private integer ID. Price. ये भी integer रहना चाहिए, it's not string. Okay. And what else you need to have? You please don't forget the category ID. You need to have a private integer cat ID. Well, this is the crucial point because every product is linked to one category. You must know what is the category ID it is linked to. Well, you can have Mr. Citron Getter over here. Click generates this one. Now, now that product response is ready with me, I quickly complete my service item. So इधर आ गया मैं, and I need to fill it. Product response dot set the ID, which is coming as product dot get the ID, and PRD response dot set cat ID as product dot get cat ID. PRD response dot set the product name as product dot get p name. R capital होना चाहिए. Dot set price as product dot get price, and और दो set करने हैं हमें. PRD response dot set the quantity as product dot set quantity. Product dot get quantity, not set, my mistake. फिर उसके बाद PRD response dot set description as product dot get description. Well, this is what I have done, and I have written the PRD response. Well, anything else you can do here, Ram, for the list? Yes, yes, I will do almost all the same thing with a slight deviation. Look at this. What I will do is, first of all, I need to return list of product responses. I agree, completely agree with that, but I have to filter that one. Well, what I will do is, first of all, I'll get the list. So I'll say list of object. Okay. So PRD list is equals to, I mean, PRD list is equals to, I need to have this product DO, right? I will have this product DO, control C and control V, and I will say product DO dot list. Now I have got all the list which is written by Mr. Product DO. Okay, so from this PRD list, I need to generate this product response list. So I will write down list of product response, which is response list is equals to new array list of the same. Now ये fill करना है मुझे. So when I can fill it, if this list is not null and it has at least one value, then I will fill it. So I'll first of all, I'll say if this PRD list not is equals to null and PRD list dot size is greater than 0, I wanted to do something. What is that? For each object obj available in the PRD list, well, I wanted to perform this operation. काम क्या करना है तुम्हें? वही ऑपरेशन यहाँ पे तुमने जो किया था वही करने का है. So I will say product PRD is equals to, or I will say product is equals to product of obj. I've got my product, and then from this product I need to fill everything into product response. So I will simply say I don't need this if condition, by the way, because I am getting the product. Control C. So I have got, and I'll say product response, you know, product res is equals to new right, and then to this product response I need to fill. So अच्छा इसका नाम PRD response है. After filling this fellow, for each product I need to send this guy to this list, product response list. So here I'll say again, before filling, please understand, I have to check this product belonging to the supplied cat ID or not. then only I'll do, or else there is no meaning I'll do this one, right? So here I will say if this product dot get cat id is equals to the supplied cat id, then I'll fill this value, or else I do not need to fill the value. I'll skip this object and I'll go to the next category. Am I clear? So please understand, you basically product contains so many products which belongs to the every category, but I don't need every category based product. If you click on sports, you need to have products only based on the sports category ID. If you click on jewelries, you need to get the products which are based on the category ID of the jewelry. So the category ID plays a crucial role here. So if this product which I'm getting from the DAO list, PRD list, if this contains the cat ID which is coming from the request, then I will add this product. So here I will do PRD list dot add of the PRD response. And after that I have filled everyone, I'll simply return the PRD list. Bingo, that is my work. See, that's what you need to do. Control S. Oh, sorry, response list you need to return. Okay, so that's what you need to do. See, from PRD list, you are fetching every object. PRD list is supplied by DAO, so he returns all the products. So you have taken one product from the list, and you are checking that product related category ID is equals to the supplied category ID not. If so, you go ahead and add, fill all the products, and then you give him. Well, that's what you will do. Control X, you could actually do in this here also chalega. Okay, that's what you do. Control S. See, that's how you have filled and written the products. बढ़िया. अब क्या बचा है भैया? तो you have got your DAO IMPL ready, you have got your service IMPL ready, you have your product ready, product response ready, everything is ready. Now you have to have, along with index, you need to have, shall I remove this calculate and calculator JSPs from the current product? I have given the code yesterday, right? I'll give the code one more time today, which will not contain this calculator.jsps. I'm removing them. I feel them unnecessary for this product. So in the web app, I will create a new JSP page, new JSP, and I'll call this JSP page as product list by cat, product list by category.jsp. Now this product list by category.jsp will also have the same kind of structure as the index.html. The only difference is this part will be filled. Am I clear? This part will be filled by him. And why do I have to call the category service again and fill this? The category is fixed always. Like as long as you are moving from one page to another page, the categories are fixed. So you know what you can do basically is you can actually have this entire table, whatever you have, this table into a small JSP page, and you can include that page over here. I can do that. Yes, you can do that. Dekho. Right click, new JSP file, and then call this JSP file as category list, and I'll say finish. Now in the category list, what I will have to do is from the index, ये table में जो भी है, I'll take out this table. I'll say Control X, and I'll say Control Control Shift O, and I'll try to Control Space Bar, category service, and I will import list util category response Control Space Bar, and that's all. Category service IMPL Control Space Bar. When you say Control Space Bar, it will do autofill and then import them. That's all. Now category list is ready. What I can do is this category list, I can simply add here by saying scriptlet at the rate include file is equals to category list.jsp. That's all. Yes. How simple it is. Now the same thing can be done in the product list also. So in the product list, I would be having the same kind of structure, table, control C, and I'll come down here and we'll say control V. Now what I need to have is, so this place, I am supposed to fill it with the proper data which is coming from the products. Look at this. This is what I need to do. So here I'll say a table. Shall I have to have a table? No, I'll just simply print it properly. Okay, one by one, I'll simply print. Uh, or you can have a table if you want, like it is up to you. One TD is what you can have, and you can fill it in that one. So here I'll say a table border is equals to 1, and say width is equals to 100%. Fill the entire this one, and within the table I need to have different TRs wherein I'll be having my list of products. But yeah, okay. First of all, to get that one, I need to have a scriptlet. So for each of the product I'm getting, I need to have, right. So here I'll say uh, product service. PRD service is equals to new product service IMPL, and I need to call list of product response. PRD list is equals to PRD service dot get product list by category ID. अरे category ID किधर है भैया? देखो भाई, in the index.html, when you have shown the category list, look at the category list. The way you are passing cat ID. This is the input you are passing to product list.jsp. So the product list.jsp can happily read that request. So here you can say integer cat ID is equals to integer dot percent of request object dot get the parameter which is coming as cat ID. You are only passing, right? Look at the category list.jsp. You are only passing slash Amazon slash product list.jsp. Cat ID is equals to 1, cat ID equals to 2. The 1 and 2 you are passing, I am catching over here. Now the cat ID that I have here, I will simply pass to this here. I have passed it. That's it. Now I got my list. Again, I'll have to check whether the list is properly received or not. So I'll say this list, PRD list, not is equals to null, and PRD list dot size is greater than 0. Then I want to perform some operation. Ram, what is that operation? Well, I just print them, right? This is the one. So what is that you wanted to? I wanted to do for each product response PRD available in the PRD list. I wanted to print them. So here is the for loop related closure. So for loop started here, closed here. If condition started here, closed here. Within this for loop, what I have to do is I have to fill in the HTML part tr last year. So for each product, I am showing one row. So TD slash TD. So within the TD, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to print the product related details. So what are all the details I need to say? I need to delete. I mean, so show is product name or product name, or simply speaking, product name. So I will say scriptlet is equals to prt dot get pname, and we'll say br. Go to the next line, price. Say scriptlet is equals to prt dot get price. Here and name क्या price हो गया, available quantity. PRD dot get quantity. PR slash a H reference, or you can simply have a H reference is equals to slash Amazon slash congratulations dot JSP. Okay. Uh, Purchase. That's what you have. And now इसके बाद last है description. It is equals to PRD dot get description and DR, and then purchase it. So add to cart or buy, purchase, whatever you wanted to give, you can give. Control S. Okay, now this is what my product list is. So what it will do, it will show all the products which are on that category and then give me a provision to purchase it. So let us see how I can see the products, whether I can purchase it or not, or whatever it is. Okay, and then to this table here, cell spacing or cell padding, I'll say cell padding is equals to 20 pixel. I wanted to give a space of 20 pixel to show the product. So I'll just come back here. I'll try to load this entire stuff one more time. Amazon, right click, run as, run on the server. Okay, now I will go and click on sports. It says ki Amazon product list.jsp is not found. PRODUCTLIST.JSP. Oh, sorry. The name of this is product list by category. My mistake. So basically, in your index, it should be किधर है भैया? Sorry, in the category list, product list by category. That is the name of the JSP. My mistake. तो ये change किया मैंने, इसको close कर दिया मैंने. I'll come back here. I'll try to run the show one more time. Run as run on the server. So I'll click on sports. Well, you can see tennis bat and cricket bat. I'll click on jewelry. Well, you can see wedding ring and bracelet. Is it working? Get it right? So this is so you basically have to develop your web application in reverse engineering. So पहले independent object को बनाओ, फिर dependent को बनाओ, फिर आ जाओ, फिर next वाले को बनाओ, फिर next वाले को बनाओ, something like that. एंड इन आवर फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल, जब हम लोगों ने पहले पहले में काम करे थे, यू हैव सीन वन एग्जाम्पल एडिंग, आई मीन रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ यूजर. रिमेंबर दैट वेर यू हैव ए कंट्रोलर एंड व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन गिव द डिटेल्स एंड क्लिक ऑन सेव बटन, इट वेंट टू ए कंट्रोलर एंड देन कंट्रोलर थ्रू वो जाके डेटाबेस में सेव हुआ था रजिस्ट्रेशन. याद है आपको? रिमेंबर दैट? हाँ. So this is I am giving you an assignment here. So in the index.jsp, on the top of this, after you have shown this welcome to Amazon app and then showing the category stuff, right? So here I have one more tier, and in the tier I have td slash td, and here align is equals to, and this td contains a h reference is equals to slash Amazon slash admin home.jsp manage you know, admin tasks. I'm giving you a link open. Basically, this is supposed to be through a login page. Okay, na? I do not have the luxury to show you the login page now. So I'm directly giving admin tasks. So what is this admin tasks is all about? This actually helps you to add categories or add products to the database. Okay. So here in the JSP, I would be having this one. So here in the web app, I am having a small new, you can have it as a plain HTML file also, but I am creating this as a JSP file. So this is admin home.jsp. Well, this guy will contain, adding category or, the kind of tasks. Okay. So this guy will have uh, uh, table tr slash tr. My mistake. ed slash td. Well, assignment is basically you are supposed to do all the operations, update, delete kind of stuff also, I'll say. Manage categories and manage products. Okay, not manage products, my mistake, sorry. This TD will be empty. Here. Something like this, I have a small page which is admin page. Okay, so when you click here, you will be taken to manage categories and manage products DSP. Here you need to have those values, let's say category name, and when you click on add button, that is supposed to call a controller has to call the service, and then service has to call the DAO, and then save accordingly. Okay, so I am going to show you in the next 20 minutes how to save the category, and you people have to complete the assignment of saving the products and the practice remaining also. Okay, now come back here. When you refresh, um did I save index dot admin task control s? I think I need to rerun that show again. I think server have stopped. Okay, so here is my admin tasks. Okay, so when you click on this admin tasks, you will be taken to admin home.jsp. So here you have manage categories and products. Click on manage categories. You are supposed to take to manage categories.jsp. वो नहीं है अभी, which is not there. So we'll try to write that one, right? I'll just come here. Now, so along with admin home, I'll say right click, new JSP page, which is going to be manage categories. And I'll also create, right click, new JSP file, manage products. Okay, manage products आपको लिखना है. I don't touch this. मैंने खाली create करके छोड़ दिया. Manage categories. First of all, it will contain a link to go back to admin home. A h reference equals to slash Amazon slash admin home.jsp. Go back or back to home. Yeah. So this guy will have this back button, and then he will be having a form action is equals to dispatcher question mark action is equals to what is that, or I could say a URL, a target is equals to category, and method is equals to post form. And then below to the form I have this one. Okay, so you actually can have a PR over here if you want, and let everything be at center, X will be in the form. I would be having category name, input type is equals to text, name is equals to cat name, ID is equals to cat name, and we'll have a BR. Then you have input type is equals to submit, name is equals to submit, and value is equals to add category. So I want you to provide delete kind of operation also. Well, he wanted to edit or he wanted to delete, he must be in a position to do that. वो बाद में करेंगे for time, because like you will be doing such operations using your Angular part when you learn. For timing, you need to understand how you pass on value to a controller and how he can control it. ठीक है, कंट्रोल एस, ये रेडी है भैया, इधर आ जाओ, एंड देन लेट अस सी हाउ दिस फेलो वर्क्स. Right click, run as, run on the server. So here admin tasks, manage categories. So I have category name and add the category. Say something and click on add. Well, it says key, service at Amazon. There is no one. Dispatcher is simply displaying this message. You can see there is a dispatcher. I have a dispatcher. What he is doing is he is simply returning served at so and so. But this is not I'm expecting him to do. I am expecting him to route this request to proper controller so that he can handle. That is my intention, correct? So let's write our controller and then complete this task. So come to controller, I'll write a small interface called controller, and this guy will contain public wide service which will have http servlet request comma http servlet response that throws servlet exception comma IO exception. That's my method. So this guy is basically try to give me the facilitation of a servlet, but who is not a servlet. It's a plain Java object. So I'll come down here, category controller. I will simply say this guy implements controller. So by saying implements controller, he is supposed to provide the unimplemented method. Uh, controller नहीं अरे यार ये मैंने क्या कर दिया controller. Okay, it's not control by mistake. LDAP control nahi remove करो. So this controller has to provide an implemented method service. So within the service, I will do whatever is required to serve the category. Okay. Now I will go to dispatcher and I'll straight away save his, or I mean change the way he behaves with. So I'll remove this and I'll remove this. I don't require all this stuff. So I'll make this method service, and I have removed all the stuff also, right? So this is pretty straightforward. So somebody is calling servlet, and servlet has to do something. So here, first of all, he'll say string target is equals to request object dot get the parameter coming as target. So who is supplying the target? Look at this. The category part is supplying the target. Target is equals to category. So this fella have to pass on his control to category controller based on the target. So here he say if target dot equals ignore case of category, I need to supply him to category. So here I will first of all create controller is equals to null. Now I will create this controller based on what he is providing. So here I will say, if this is the case, controller is equals to new category controller, and I will call him controller dot service. And what is this request? This one. And what is the response? This one. I have passed it. Simple. Now, whatever I am getting, I am routing it to controller. My work is over. Okay. Else, if it is something else, else if, well, this target equals ignore case of tomorrow, I'll have to write product assume. Then this is product. In that case, you have to let this handle by product. Something like that you have to do. Okay. Am I clear? Else किसी का नाम नहीं आया समझो. Am I clear? You need to write out.println. So here, you know, print writer out is equals to response dot get writer, and here you need to say else. In such a kind of case, you need to say out dot println wrong target, and you can say go back a h reference is equals to slash a slash Amazon slash index.jsp. Go back.
back to home. So this is what you can say. So you are trying to do a wrong target. It is not there with me. So go there. So similarly, I'll try to write another class. New Java class product controller who implements controller, and add on that method service. You have to write this method. Okay, I'm leaving this for you people. So I'll write the category controller. I want you to write the product controller. So look at this. The manage category is calling the dispatcher, and it is passing the request of something called as cat name. So there is only one request coming as cat name. So I'll come down to the category controller, which is receiving this request from that fellow, and I'll read string cat name is equals to request dot get parameter, which is coming as cat name, and I have received it. Now this cat name is supposed to be supplied to service. पहले service में देखो यार, your category service have only one method, which is get category list. Do it have a method for adding the categories? I do not have. So I will say public boolean add category, which will take, am I clear? Category request category. That is my method. What is category request basically? The one which will carry the request from controller to this fellow. So look at this category request. Okay, what it will have? It have nothing. So I will say private string cat name. This is what I am getting as a request. So for one single element, you need not create a pojo like this, but in real time, in big applications, you don't get single element as a request. Most of the times you will get multiple elements as a request. So I'm creating, you know what, an object. So this is what it is. Generate control S. So what this service method will do, he will take out this, and then he has to pass to someone. So now the service IMPL I have, category service IMPL I have, now have to implement that method add category. So what this person will do, he will say category DAO, cat DAO is equals to new category DAO IMPL. Now this category DAO already have a method of adding this. So this return cat DAO dot save of category request, but you cannot pass category request to him. So what you have to do is you have to create category, which is an model element. Okay, so category is equals to new category, and to him you will say category dot set cat name of category request dot get cat name, and supply this object here. This is what the service method will do. So what service will do? Service will exchange the request data into entity and then pass the entity to the DO. This is the main work of the service, and that's all. Category DO will save it and return me true or false. This is what it is. And I will come back to my category controller. Now I have got the cat name. So what I need to do is I will create category request. Cat request is equals to new category request, and we'll say cat request dot set cat name as the cat name that I have received, and then I'll say category service, cat service is equals to new category service IMPL, and I will call cat service dot add category of category request. But this fellow return me a boolean value. So I will say boolean success is equals to add category. Now let us say if success, I will show some output, else I'll show some other output. This is what I wanted to do. So as long as I am adding categories, I will be here. So I will first create request dispatcher RD is equals to request dot get request dispatcher on which file, manage categories or category. Look at this, manage categories .jsp. I wanted to take the customer back to this page, but I wanted to tell him whether the previous operation is successful or not. Okay, so if success, anyway, I will simply say rd dot include. So he'll straight away say rd dot include the request and response. And after including the request and response, along with that, I wanted to say out dot println. So I have a print writer out is equals to response dot. Where is my out? I don't have it. So I'll first of all I'll say print writer out is equals to response dot get writer. Okay, so before I have included this response, and I have included this response, and I wanted to print something back. So out dot println. So here I will say center slash center and h3 slash h3, and here I'll say font color is equals to green slash font. Category added successfully. If this is not the case, I'll simply say okay, fail to add category, please try again. I will simply say and this will become red. Control S. That is what a controller will do. So he'll take the request, he'll pass on that request to the service. Here it is only one element, category name. In applications, basically you will get sometimes 10 values, sometimes you will get 100 values. It is a big form. So it depends, like, request will vary from one page to another page. You have to pass on all the values to the service. Service, what it will do, it will, what it will do, it will set all those values into the model and pass the model to DAO. What DAO will do, DAO will take out all those values, save into the database using the JDBC. That is what it will do. Okay, so now I have written all the code. Let us see how it works. I'll try to run again. Okay, now I'll say admin tasks, manage categories, and so here on the Amazon, well, I'll say sports and jewelry is there. I will try to add a kids wear. Okay, na? So kids wear, add category. There is a big error. Let's see what is this error. Cannot issue a null query. Hmm. Here, the query is null is what it is saying. So perform save or update or delete of SQL and Control Z, Control Z. Where is, I'm sorry, where is my category DAO? First of all, I think category DAO may we haven't added the add method. Yes or no? If you remember the category DAO, we have implemented only these two, which is get and list. Have we added the add method? No, right? Did we? Did we add it? No, that's our mistake. So we have to add the add method. So remember this, right click, source, override the implement methods. What are all I need to have? I need to have save or update or delete. So these are the things which are not there. So I'll try to add them. Well, you simply have to say here, you have to say category, category is equals to category of entity, and now you will say this dot SQL is equals to, you have to write your SQL something like insert into category, cat name values. What is that value? Is coming from the above category, category dot get cat name, and then super dot save of this entity. This is what you need to do. So try to do the same thing in the other parts also. Done. Now here you will have to say update category set cat name is equals to category dot get name, where id is equals to plus category dot get the id. So that's what it will do. And then super dot, you will simply say update, and then this one will be super dot delete, and then here you are simply delete from category, where id is equals to plus category dot get the id. That's so. Now do not remember, I mean sorry, do not forget to add on all the possible methods. If you forget to add possible methods of implementation in your DAOs, you will end up with this kind of errors. So here in my case, because I forgot to add this SQL, it is trying to call the null SQL for the SQL update, and then it resulted in some error. Okay, so I'll come down here, I'll try to add the kidswear one more time, because see, did my application restart? The application hasn't restarted. What am I supposed to do? I am supposed to rerun it again. Run as, run on the server. All right, so okay, so kids fair, I'll click on add category. Let's see what happens. Category added successfully this time. How would I believe? I'll come down here and refresh. You will see kids fair. See that? Now I'll come down. Let's say I'll try to add one more category. Give me one more category. Mobiles. Okay, and I'll click on add category. It will still say category added successfully. How would I know? I'll just come down here, refresh, mobiles. See, I am adding and
Right
it
है
is
मैं
getting reflected.
ए
Okay, so
मैं
this
फोन
is,
right as है
guys, mute yourself, please. You speak to your home people, mute yourself. So this is how we add categories as an admin, and they will get reflected in the site. Now your work is, when you click here, you are having products, right? Similarly, based on a category, you have to add products using an admin page. So you have an admin page, go back to admin home, go back to admin home. Now you need to implement this manage products JSP page for me, which will contain a look like this, similar like this category name, and then so you will be having category ID followed by the products which you wanted to save. Give in the product details, save, it has to save. That is your work. Am I clear? And you have to implement this
yes sir
entire site we have built so far, and also have to complete adding the products by the admin based on the category. So that's your work, and you have 2 days of time to complete this entire application. You complete it. The same application we will develop using Spring REST API and using Hibernate from next week. So we'll first learn what is Hibernate, what is Spring MVC, and then we will alter this application into Spring MVC. It is something like you are learning there is a old application and how you migrate it into a
But
new level of application. Okay, that's what you are
we
going to
enjoyed,
learn.
sir.
Abhaya, hello.
Just I said, but we enjoy, sir. Old application, but we enjoy.
क्यों?
Because sir, we are now we are excited कि if old application like this, तो आपने बोला कि बहुत सी चीजें जैसे ओल्ड बॉर्डर प्लेट कोड्स हैं वो हाइबरनेट और स्प्रिंग में हट जाते हैं, तो फिर
हट जाते,
इस पे
करेक्ट.
इतना मजा आ रहा, तो स्प्रिंग और हाइबरनेट में तो और ही
हाइबरनेट में स्प्रिंग में और भी मजा आ जाता है क्योंकि यू विल डेवलप इट इन अ वेरी स्टैंडर्ड वे. ये बॉयलर प्लेट कोड जो भी है पूरा निकल जाता, एंड यू विल मिनिमाइज योर कोड लाइक एनीथिंग, एंड देन इट हैज गॉट सो मेनी बिल्ट इन ऑब्जेक्ट्स व्हिच विल हैंडल ऑल दिस स्टफ फॉर यू. फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर आप इसमें देखोगे व्हाट द हेल यू आर डूइंग इन योर कंट्रोलर, you are basically taking the data from the request and you are capturing it like this, and then you are passing it to a service layer, right? So this saving like this string category name ये वाला जो कर रहे हो ना, अगर आपके पास if you are getting 25 requests like this, you will be writing request.get parameter, request.get parameter, request.get parameter, request.get parameter. You will not do in Spring. That automatically will become an object for you. We call it as a request object. So that request object you will pass to the service directly, and service internally basically will convert it into an entity and then pass it on. So it looks nice, like आप लोग थोड़ा enjoy करोगे, देखते वो भी सीखोगे. And then you will also learn how do you call third party web services which are provided by the clients and then get response and then save into DB on the fly. How do you call it? All such kind of stuff you will learn. जैसे अगर आपने एंटर किया, आपका पैन नंबर एंटर किया, हाउ डू यू नो दैट द पैन इज वैलिडेड, राइट? वी कैन चेक इट. सो
yes
ऑल
sir.
दैट काइंड ऑफ स्टफ वी विल लर्न. तो वो बड़ा है, मतलब इससे बहुत बड़ा है. तो दैट विल टेक 14 से स्टार्ट करोगे स्प्रिंग एमवीसी फॉलोड बाय स्प्रिंग बूट. ये सीखने के लिए आपको 26 लग जाएगा.
Okay, sir.
आराम से सीखना है ये. एंड 26 के बाद सॉरी 25th लग जाएगा. फॉर्चुनेटली श्वेता मैम विल बी on leave on 28th. I'll suggest her to take break on 29th also, so that I can take a full day over here. We can cover microservices up to 9th. देखते.
Okay. Yes, sir.
ठीक है. I'll catch you back on Monday, and I want you to strictly sit and then practice this application. So uh, uh, I'll forward the video after the recording is ready. I'll forward this piece of code that I have written for you people. See, look at this number of elements that you have created. big big code, right? So you have to
Yes
practice
sir.
this step by step. तो ये वाला भी देखो, अगर आपको ये चाहिए तो ये वाला, ये तो नहीं चाहिए आपको, आई डोंट थिंक सो. द कोड इज देयर विथ यू. ये भी ऑर्डर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ये भी नहीं चाहिए ना? यू रियली थिंक यू रिक्वायर दिस?
No sir, we see video and we
यू ट्राई टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट. ओके ना? चलो, गुड लक, हैप्पी वीकेंड. एंड पूरा वीकेंड खराब मत करो. ट्राई टू स्पेंड 2 to 3 hours on this one. The remaining time you spend whatever the free time you have. ठीक है ना? पूरा इसी के ऊपर मत मत जाओ, लाइक दिमाग खराब हो जाएगा. तो थोड़ा सा ब्रेक ले लो. एक ही इम्प्लीमेंट करो, नो प्रॉब्लम. यू टेक टाइम इम्प्लीमेंट अनदर इन द नेक्स्ट वीक, फिर भी नो प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि फर्स्ट 2 days तो ऐसे थ्योरी में चले जाएगा. स्प्रिंग में, हाइबरनेट में भी वैसा ही है. ठीक है? तो नो प्रॉब्लम, यू हैव टाइम. I'm not forcing you to submit this at any cost by Monday morning. I want you to understand and practice it slowly. तो अपना दिमाग को भी फ्रेश रखो, वीडियो फिर से सुनो, बार बार सुनो आराम से, and then practice it step by step. The only request I have is you practice it, you understand it. Slowly do it. Slowly. ठीक है ना? हड़बड़ी में मत करो. Right? So I'll catch you on Monday.
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you very much
Thank
sir.
you, beta. Thank you, beta.
Thank you, sir.
चलो.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, beta. Bye. Stop recording and